Well, thank
How
you.
are you?
For taking time out to do this.
Oh my gosh, thank you for having me. I'm honored.
So I'm excited to speak with you because I have openly seen you be very proactive during this time. So like the whole
Somebody's got to be. I think we're sitting on a huge opportunity. I think you're sitting on a huge opportunity. I believe I'm sitting on a huge opportunity. I think you and I have a kindred spirit in the fact that we're immigrants. So we're looking at this, we're like, really? You know what I mean? Like I've been sharing my personal story more because I think people need to realize like we're having the privilege of this problem.
Yes. And so I also have this belief that some people respond better in wartime than others. So like, I had this conversation with John Barry and I was like, I
love him.
Would it be fair to say that you are more comfortable and at home in the current situation?
Oh my God. You are,
like, yeah, absolutely.
You're saying the thing I'm too probably haven't grown comfortable enough to admit, which is my dark side thrives in this.
Yes. Well, because I think that's where, the playing field levels for everybody. And then the ones who are strong and adaptable and creative, like that's where they shine because, a lot of the handicaps are gone. Like you basically increase the difficulty level. I talk about this. I don't know if the vlog is out yet, but basically if some sadistic person was wanting to crank up the difficulty on a business owner, they would essentially say, okay, so we're going to stop all local businesses. Your entire team has to work remotely. Everybody's sick and in fear. New money isn't coming in. And people are also afraid to invest. Go.
Michael, this is capitalism.
Yeah.
This is exactly what capitalism is supposed to do. Every now and then something's supposed to happen to weed out the weak and let the people who have the hunger, no matter what, to make, capture the opportunity, but even be better at it. I can already tell you, our sales like crazy? Well, no, but March we closed out just as many as we were supposed to. Do we think April is going to be crazy? Hopefully, but that's not the game I'm playing. I'm playing the game of where will this put me for 2021? What are the advantages it's giving me for 2021? I'm not scrambling, worrying about next week's payroll, right? That's not the game to be played. The game to play right now is there's a wave that this is going to bring, and are you going to be behind it or ahead of it?
How has this experience been for you just over the last several weeks?
So I think that if you were to not shut out the noise, if you were to not put your head in the right space and you didn't put it in the game of business, which is there's ebbs and flows, right? There's ebbs and flow in business. There's downturn, upturn. Then you really will be overwhelmed by the second by second news. You'll 1 second think, oh, wow, I'm going to be fine. Everything will be fine. I'm going to, ride out this wave. Or the next second you'll feel like I'm crashing against the wave. So how do you stop that mindset back and forth? Well, you really have to play a bigger game and realize, where will this position me for a year from now, from 6 months from now? Forget 3 months from now. Stop holding on to the past. Stop holding on to the way you got to walk into your law firm 3 weeks ago, say hi to, your admin assistant, Nicole, and go sit in your nice little office and wait for the clients to come to the door. Let go of that. The quicker you can let go of that and let go of the past, the quicker you can create your own future through this. And that future is going to, day to day, the next 3 months, day to day is going to be different. So you really got to build a 6 month, 12 month, 18-month plan, not just for how do I go virtual or my systems, but also your marketing. I'm no longer interested in what is everybody talking about today. Well, today everybody's talking about the SBA loans. Today everybody's talking about the 2-week crazy statistics we're going to see in Georgia with people getting coronavirus. That, as far as where I need to be as a leader for my team and where I need to be for servicing my clients, is old news. I need to think about what are the challenges my team and my clients are going to face 2 months from now, 3 months from now, and what are the marketing messages that are already I need to be ahead of and have planned out in my calendar ahead of schedule, right? And that will keep you from going insane. That will keep you from driving your people crazy, your team crazy. And that will give your clients a self of assurance that you're not taking them through a roller coaster ride of being reactive to, last second news. You are building a future for them because you're building a future for yourself. I am quite frankly, disturbed by law firms that had to lay people off within the first week. Forget law firms, even businesses. How could we be business owners and not be responsible enough to not be ready for a 1 week or a 2 week downturn? I mean, that's concerning to me. And if that's anybody's situation that's listening to this, hey, listen, there's always a chance to like turn that boat around and learn from our lessons. I mean, I would probably not have the luxury of saying that with such comfort if I hadn't learned some really, really hard lessons along the way and hadn't had some crazy painful moments as a business owner, as a mother, as a child, as a human being. So I understand that I'm sitting in a seat and I can say that a little bit more comfortably because we have built cash reserves. We have built plans for pivoting, but we built that from stories of war stories of pain. And so anybody out there that is struggling right now, okay, great. I understand this is going to be tough and you laid people off, but what lesson can you learn from that? Because you can't say something happened that was out of your control and you have to let go of people. You're a business owner. You're not in control over anything. You never were. Every day was the unknown. You just weren't aware of it. Now build with that mindset in mind for the future and give your team the security and the self-esteem and the love that they deserve when they come work for you, because that's the deal we make with them, right? We give them the security and we reap the benefits of having our own business and getting our vision come to life. But we owe them the security of there will be downturns and we as the business owners will be responsible and we'll be ahead of it.
So let me ask you then, in terms of, clearly you've got your head in the game, but as this was happening and you've got a team of your own, how have you kind of managed their mindset and in keeping them aligned? Because I mean, they're watching the news, they've got relatives and probably family members they're freaking out. How do you keep everyone focused and aligned?
That's such a good thing to say, Michael, because at the end of the day, we can sit here and you and I can read all the fantastic books, listen to all the great podcasts and get a hold of our mindset and have people input like you to listen to and pay attention to say, okay, I'll go to Michael to get my head in the game, but what do we do about our team? So I think that this is a huge opportunity for us to step up as leaders for our team. If you weren't doing that before, they are desperate for leadership. They are desperate for somebody to just tell them that, hey, like, we're going to get through this. Because you're right, as much as I'm keeping on top of my mindset, how can I control what's going on inside of their homes, the news they're watching, and what they're exposed to? Well, I can't. But all I can do is take them back to the guiding values of the law firm. And that's what I've done from day one with them. Every morning we have a group huddle, and it's really like a mindset check-in. And we go and I check in with every one of them on the call. What are you doing? How are you doing? What's going on in your life? Not, do you have enough work today? Tell me you have enough work today. Not that desperation at all. Just give them the security that I want to know if you're okay and how you're handling this. And then what are some things on your plate that I can help you with? Because our job as leaders is to remove the obstacles out of their way so they can do their work. And right now, some of those obstacles might be some very personal things, might be some just needing a mental day to take a break from all the stress of parenting, educating their kids, worrying about the health of the elderly, and then having to do work. So every morning we have that call and I check in with every single person and ask, how was your day? How was yesterday? What do you have on your plate? And what obstacles can I help remove for you? And making them feel comfortable to be real. I mean, we also have to have compassion. That's one of our guiding values, is to give grace and have compassion. That there will be some people that at some points will just not have the luxury of a strong mindset. And I can't say I haven't had moments where, as a parent, when, I'm on a conference call and my son's running out to the neighbor's house, I'm not freaking out and going, oh my God, how am I going to get through this? We all are human. We have those moments, and we got to give that compassion to our team that they're going to have those moments as well. But you got to make them feel okay to talk about it. And if you don't, and if you're doing that whole fake it till you make it with your team, and you're putting them in a spot where they feel like they have to fake it till you make it, the whole thing's going to come crashing down. Because Michael, we're not in a race, we're in a marathon. This is not going to be, we go through the 2 weeks in Georgia, or we go through the 3 months or whatever. This has changed the entire playing field, you know? And for those of us who love change, celebrate change, I mean, that's why I trademarked happily ever after divorce. We will accept it. We will welcome it. We will find it as a way to improve our team and improve as leaders. But we got to know that this is a marathon, and that means pacing with our mindset and meeting people where they are. That means if you have team members, or if you have peers or people in your network, or even clients who are just not feeling as strong as you are about it, you have to meet them where they are and help them uplift them from there.
Absolutely. And I agree wholeheartedly. You know, let's say looking to the future, what do you, if you had to make a prediction, let's say for the next 6 months, 9 months, you know, after all this, how do you think things will change in the legal landscape, just amongst law firms, or maybe even just in the legal system?
I think there's going to be some really awesome changes. First of all, I think the court system, the state court system, is going to realize how archaic it is. It's so archaic. It's so dinosaur-like. The labor costs we spend in any firm, or a client spends on an attorney attending a status conference, is absolutely ridiculous. Those are already starting to be virtual. The other judges will have to catch up. The federal system has already been doing that, like in our Social Security firm, and that's always been a gift. I think we'll see a lot of families realizing in family law and other areas of litigation that leaving their future in the hands of a judge to decide is probably not the best way to go unless they absolutely have to. So I think we'll see a lot more success in alternative dispute resolution cases and have more opportunities there. I also think that as far as marketing goes, everybody's going to step up their game and have to be a lot better at it. Putting out a website that just says, I'm here and I'm, you know, this is like my virtual business card, will just not do. You have to connect now with your clients more than ever. Whether that is making a video, or that is calling your clients one by one and touching base with them and doing Zoom meetings like this with them. People are going to their trusted resources more than ever now. They're, you know, just going into Google and typing up, you know, Atlanta family law firm or Atlanta Social Security disability law firm. That won't get you very far. So I'm really excited to see a lot of attorneys having to step up their game and connect with their clients and connect with their prospects in a much, much deeper way. Because right now it's really being a trusted source will matter more than ever. And people are going to want to know now, are you a law firm that when times get rough, I can't call, when I dial, your phones aren't ringing? When I try to go on your website, everything's outdated. Are you aware of what's going on in my world? Are you too concerned about, you know, sitting and binge watching Netflix all day? And those of us who are using this opportunity as a platform to say, we're not going anywhere. We're going to be here for you. We're pivoting. And when times get rough, that's what we do. I think those are the guys that people are going to trust.
And I agree with you. I think it's you know, a common maxim I've been telling myself and that we've been sharing is just like, how do you want to be remembered when all of this passes? You know, like, how do you want people to remember you? Do you want people to remember you as the person who laid off everybody a week in, the person who panicked? You know, because other lawyers will see that as well. Judges see it. I mean, people in the community see it, and they'll remember that. But what would be, in you know, from your perspective, what would be some mistakes to make during this time? Like, what would be things that you would say would probably not be a good idea in terms of ways that leaders should respond?
First, with their team, I think they really got to be mindful of what their team's going through. I think if you, with all the SBA stuff that's coming out, all the how much money the government's pouring into small businesses, if you're not going after that to keep your team put and give them security and keep your A players, huge mistake. So any emotional, quick decision making, huge mistake. Any planning that's based on next week, 2 weeks from now, huge mistake. Pulling out marketing spend, huge mistake. We are doubling down on marketing right now. We are doing more. You have more power with your marketing dollar now than you ever have before. So that, play the long-term game. It's just like somebody that's investing in the stock market. So being careful of what are you making 2-week decisions, 3-week decisions, or emotional decisions. Those are huge mistakes. And making your team feel that you're desperate, I think, is a really, really big mistake. Letting your team know, I think it's important for your team to know where the scorecard is. Here's how we're doing. I mean, today on our daily call this morning, I gave them the scorecard for March. I celebrated them, the fact that despite everything, we ended up March for both firms with we actually beat the budget. We beat the number of new clients we wanted to bring in, and our quality, everything was on par. So I celebrated that with them. But we will have that. They will have a scorecard ongoing. So you just put the data in front of them and let them know what you expect, but none of that nagging, none of that, I am sitting here busting my butt for you guys and working and hustling so I can keep your job. If you're going to be that kind of a leader, they're watching, and they will not stick around too long. Because I'll tell you what, Michael, for those of us who are deciding to step up and to be better leaders than ever, when all this is done, we will most likely have a much better labor market to tap into than ever before. And I would hate for somebody, because of fear, lose their 18 players to Michael Mogill or to Sara Khaki, because we'll scoop them up.
We'll take them.
We'll take them because they saw how you performed during this time. And we're only going to grow from this. And those who choose to not take their team on that journey, I'm not saying to hold on to B team, anybody less than an A team for sure. But if you have an A team player, this is not the time to come across as a desperate leader who is nagging at their team. This is the time to influence them and to help them self-motivate themselves and really show them compassion.
So final question to close this out, because I imagine there's probably someone who's watching this is thinking, okay, listen to these two delusional people. So how, or more importantly, why do you feel as strongly as you do about this in terms of like having this perspective towards being proactive and responding in this way?
Well, first of all, you're right. We are delusional. I mean, every entrepreneur, I think Will Smith said it. He's like, are a little bit delusional. Michael, it might be because I'm an immigrant like you. I was born in Iran when Saddam was dropping bombs on us. We took refuge in Sweden in the most northern point of Scandinavia refugee camp. And then when I was a teenager, we moved to the United States, and I was a very, very awkward European, Iranian, teenager, not trying to figure out the American way, culture. And I can tell you, and I also in 2016 almost had lost my Social Security firm when the government for 3 months put freeze on attorney's fees. And that's how I pivoted and started a second law firm. So, but I look at those moments with like such a sense of pride and such a sense of like, that was me, I did that. And those most painful moments were the most powerful moments I have. And because of that, that's given me the self-confidence I have. That's given me the ability to step into something that I don't know exactly how it's going to turn out, but go for it. And I just don't think I would be sitting in this seat of privilege in this extraordinary life if I hadn't gone through those times and had to grow into a bigger person. And like you said, like everybody's going to remember how we respond to this. And there's this huge calling for us to see what we're made of. And I mean, we're either going to grow or you're going to die. And I think it's exciting because I think all of us have so much resilience in us, and our capacity for resilience is endless. And those that make a decision to thrive and not survive, like you said, they will never be the same, and they'll never want to be the same. And their consciousness is going to grow to a level that they'll never even be able to go back to who they were prior to COVID. And we will look back at this as pridefully as the firefighters look back to 9/11.
Well, look, I'll tell you, Sara, I'm in complete agreement with you. Like, you were very inspiring to me. When I've been asked that question, I always say, well, what's the alternative?
Right.
If it's like, what else? Like, be realistic or whatever that implies, or stay under the covers or what have you. I don't know that ever yields a better outcome. And traditionally, those that cut back and are looking at self-preservation, it's a selfish behavior, right? Let me cut everyone around me. Let me cut everything that's going on just so I can survive. Those people, from my experience and what I've seen, never really build true success, and never build true wealth. They may not get completely wiped out, but they'll always play small because they're always trying to save their ass, as opposed to those around them.
Michael, I've always known I'm a very hard worker, and I thrive in hard work. But I got to tell you, these past 2 weeks, I didn't know that I even had this level of hard work in me, right? So I'm actually looking at this and thinking, man, I'm already seeing that there was always potential for more, even within how much I prided myself in working hard.
That was my my morning huddle with the team. I was like, look how we closed out March, in spite of, coronavirus. I was like, I think you guys have been holding out on me. Because, like, who knew that this was possible? I would have been, what the numbers could have been if you didn't have coronavirus.
I know. What could have March 2019 have looked like, guys?
Yeah. So
I completely agree.
So thank you. Thank you for taking time out to do this.
Thank you. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
All right. See ya.
Bye.